Geeks assemble! What's up, guys? It's Geeks with Wives and Capes, episode 48. I'm here with one co-host and one brand new co-host. First off, we have Chad Osuna. How's it going, Chad?
What's up, man? You know, I had something to say when you asked me tonight. I was thinking about it, and I can't remember what it was.
Oh,
I,
no.
I have absolutely no idea.
Not a good way to start the show.
It was going to be like a snappy comeback, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm doing it. Oh, you know what? I'm already in vacation mode. That's what it is. I'm headed to Havasu tomorrow night. I'm ready to do some boating.
Movies, huh?
Well, I'm taking my kids. Yeah, that's why I'm going. We're headed to Havasu. We're taking the guns. We're taking the kids. We're gonna do some boating. We're gonna do some shooting. We're gonna do some boating. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna spend the next 4 or 5 days in the water.
Do you want to tell everybody where they can, where these people that are local that may be listening, where they can find a picture of you unloading some caps on some fools?
Well, speaking of that, you know, I think you and I talked. Well, you're not on my Facebook, only your wife is. But
talking to my wife on Facebook?
No, yeah, we talk all the time on Facebook. You didn't know that?
Goodness gracious, I
No, we don't. We actually never talk on Facebook, but she's on my Facebook. But no, last week, you know, I took. I think it was the first day of summer. I took the girls to the range. And, you know, entirely legal and all that good stuff, all the safety equipment. And they have their own little rifle, 22, and my oldest daughter was shooting a rifle. And I proud dad took a picture of her shooting at targets. And someone on Facebook reported it as gratuitous violence. So someone with an agenda. Someone reported it as gratuitous violence, that I was following my Second Amendment right, completely legally, completely safe, at a range, all the safety equipment. Facebook did not do anything. They actually sent me a notice saying that no, this doesn't follow that rule. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing this weekend. We're going to go out and shoot some bottles and, you know, get some real gratuitous violence on.
So beware all future boyfriends of Chad's daughters. Beware.
Well, I don't. You know what? I did send that to you. I don't know why you brought that up. Let me. So I was on the front page of the Orange County Register, which is on, what was it, honey? Wednesday? No, Tuesday. On Tuesday, front page, because I'm going through my classes to have a concealed carry weapon license. So like when we go camping and stuff like that, so I can legally carry a gun while we're hiking, in case a mountain lion grabs my kids or something crazy. You know, I want to be able to legally carry it. And while I was doing my class, in California it's a big deal right now, because that's, in the rest of the world, that's pretty much not a big deal. In California it is. Someone came in, they're like, hey, we want to ask people a couple of questions, and me being a newsy guy anyways, I was like, you can talk to me, I don't care, whatever you want to ask, I ain't got nothing to hide. I didn't realize it was going to end up 3-column wide picture, front, you know, top header, front page story of one of the largest circulated papers in California. So that was my Tuesday. That was pretty cool. Me shooting. You saw the picture, right, Casey? I sent it to you, right?
Yeah. I was gonna make a Mexican joke, but then I stopped myself.
Go ahead. How can you make a Mexican joke? I'll be carrying my gun legally.
I was gonna say something about Mexicans in Orange County. Like, that's probably the first time a Mexican's ever been on the newspaper in Orange County, maybe.
Well, that makes
okay. That could use a little work.
Yeah, you brush that up. Come back and look at it a little later. But enough about me. I chatted. Yeah. Let's talk about
that lovely laugh you were hearing as Chad talked. It was a female, and it wasn't one of us. It wasn't me for sure. That wasn't me.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Is our, well, like I said, pending she doesn't commit mass murder on the podcast, our new co-host, Piper.
Wait.
How's it going, Piper?
Hey!
Real quick, Piper. Is that the only bar? To be cut off the podcast, she has to commit mass murder?
Well, I mean, yeah, we take anybody.
Oh, thanks.
I'm just kidding.
Don't worry, I'm on my medication. So
I told you, I'm going to be weird. I'm a little nervous. I'm meeting new people on the podcast. I have like social anxiety a little bit. Bringing someone in that I necessarily haven't had a first on meeting with. Like, we're just throwing Piper into the fire. I don't want her to hate us immediately. So I'm a little on edge.
But it's you and me. There's no guests. You know, I mean, we planned it. We planned it this way. It was a quiet week where we could just hang out and BS. Do you have like Asperger's or something?
This is why I take mass quantities of Xanax. Probably.
Okay. You should you should have had something to drink to ease this a little
I
bit.
know.
mean,
I don't
That's
have
what I
alcohol
did.
now.
Liquid courage.
We're completely rolling over Piper. I'm sorry, Piper, but I had to pick on Casey. Casey did a little pissing me off before the podcast, so I have to beat his ass a little bit tonight. So
Sometimes you just need a little smacking around. It's okay.
That's right. Hey. Oh, yeah.
All right, Piper. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us why you wanted to kind of jump balls into this endeavor and dive head first, and let me convince you to come on the show and potentially be like a regular and come on every week and talk about comic books and superheroes and all that nonsense. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your history, all that. We want to hear it all.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'm a mother of one little geeklet, I guess. I am a student, a visual communications student. I'm a D20 girl, which is a nonprofit organization that actually does a lot of charity work, and we're trying to do a youth outreach program for bullied geeks, actually. So, because we can relate, we've been there. Oh, I'm a Mary Kay, senior consultant thingy, too.
Okay, hold on.
You know, just in case.
Time out. Chad, did you know that already going into this conversation?
Not that specifically, but I know her, and I have had conversations that led me to believe that that was a topic that she would be into talking about.
Okay, see, that's information I did not have, and that's
I'm
why
actually working on
So,
writing
Chad, I
an
apologize.
article for the whole geek bullying the way it is right now. I'm working on it. It's a really long article. I'm trying to cut it down.
That's great. I mean, once you're done with it, we'll probably put it on the site too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where can we find that article? It's probably gonna be on Geeks With Wives, right, Piper?
Yeah, eventually.
Oh
right?
no, somebody else said they publish it first. But now that I'm on your podcast, I can do it with you guys. Maybe I'll do both.
Yeah, you can do both. You can do both.
I'll do
Why don't you
both.
do that? You can tell them, hey,
I'll
it's
do
also
even more.
it's also going to publish on this other site. It's your intellectual property, so.
Yeah.
So that'll be
sorry,
a topic coming
continue.
up in the second half of the show. We're going to talk about geeks and bullying and adversity and all that good stuff. So.
Sorry, that was a sidebar conversation that me and Chad had that I had to kind of apologize for because I was being kind of a douche about it. But I had no idea that our guest was already involved in that stuff, so I was kind of apprehensive about talking about it on the podcast when she first introduced her, and I didn't want to scare her away. So yeah,
Aw.
sorry, my bad, Chad. I apologize for it. There you go. And the internet saw it, so 5 people are going to hear me say apologize.
That'll teach you to question me ever.
Oh my goodness, calm down.
Okay. All right. Apology.
All right, Piper, sorry. We keep overriding. We keep talking over Piper. It's going to happen a
Sorry,
lot.
Piper. Sorry.
Go
We
ahead.
had to get that
Y'all are
out.
funny.
Before the start of the show. It was getting ugly. So we had to get it out of the way. Casey, I love you again.
I love you too.
Aw.
Oh, that's okay.
Kiss
Okay.
him again.
I can't kiss. I can't see anything.
There we
Thank
go.
you. Oh my gosh. This
All right, so
this podcast
D20.
went south real
Tell us a
fast.
little more about the D20 girls, because when we were talking about starting Geeks for Courageous Kids, which we've talked about on the show, and we'll talk a little bit more. You suggested that that's something that the D20 girls could get involved if it grows to that locally. So tell us a little bit more about your involvement with that group.
So far, we're actually we started and are centralized in Ohio. That's like Central Command, but we're actually nationwide. There's a lot of D20 girls, and we usually we have booths at conventions. We run different events at conventions. We help. I don't know, fellow geeks and cosplayers get out there by giving them something to do for free badges so that they can go to conventions. I could never afford to go to conventions until I joined the D20 Girls, and now I work for it, but I'm there, and it's really nice. I'm really hoping they get the youth outreach running. They're going through figuring out what they need to do legally to be responsible for people's kids for a while. And otherwise, we do at conventions, we do different events to raise money for charity. Like I've done a maid cafe a couple of times where I've worn a maid outfit and sold tea. So for charity. But I know we've cosplayed for smaller, like local comic book shops and stuff. We've cosplayed and done pictures for them to help them promote. Well, we like doing that too. We're kind of everywhere, but it's all free work.
Which is honestly, I mean, and I knew this. You've actually been on my Twitter for a while now, and we've talked back and forth about stuff, and that's one of the reasons why, when I decided, and Natalie and I decided to spin off the Popcorn Podcast, which starts next week, why I contacted you, said there's a space available, you should probably contact Casey, I think you'd be a good fit. So, here you are now. So, I mean, I kind of knew a lot of this, and it is why I reached out to you. So it fits very good with our community, I think.
Well, I thank you. I know I'm really opinionated. I have really strong opinions, so it's nice to get a chance to get it out there, I guess. Twitter only gives you so much space.
Yeah, podcasting is very cathartic. I mean, I think Casey probably says the F word more times during each podcast than he probably does the rest of the week.
Oh no, my daughter's first word was the F word, definitely.
Oh goodness.
I'm kidding, it was mom. But
it was mom.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, right. So what would you say your main focus of geekdom is? Like, I'm a comic book guy, Chad's a TV guy or movie guy. What would be your what do you spend your most time geeking out on?
Ooh, I would have to say video games probably, or gaming in general.
That's another podcast.
I know I'm not on that one, but I do love my comic books. I'm behind on my comic books, so this is working out for me because now I'm a really fresh face. reading this stuff.
Hey, you know what? Actually, and I know Casey and I both feel that gaming and comics are so melded together at this point that unless you want to get in the minutia, like the other podcast does, Casey's a pretty big gamer. I'm a gamer. A game, not like Casey does, but he's always trying to get me to play. I think we played that stupid game one time. I was like, dude, this is the dumb. What was that game?
Was it Dead Nation? No. No, it was Mercenary Kings.
Mercenary Kings, and I love story, and I guess I'm a movie guy, so I love story-driven games like The Last of Us, which I've played through twice, and then the HD remake I've said I wanted for my birthday. So I love story-driven. Shut up. I love story-driven games. So playing the Mercenary Kings, I think I got through 5 minutes with them, and I was like, dude, this is the stupidest fucking game I've ever played. You can play it. You can play it by yourself, and I logged off. So, but no, I mean, we game too. You can talk games. We don't care.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm really liking you said story-based, and I know I don't want to take up too much time, but I have been griping about one game that came out that I love and hate at the same time.
What's that?
And that is Titanfall. I hate that it's multiplayer, but not with your actual friends right here next to you. You all have to have a console.
Yeah.
But I'm loving the story-based first-person shooters where they're kind of mixing in role-play elements. Like Borderlands really helped kick that off. So Titanfall, I'm going, okay, so why are we killing each other? What's the story on that?
Titanfall did very poorly. I think they'll change that. I mean, it did not do. It wasn't the console seller that they expected it to be because they didn't have a story mode. That's why I didn't buy it. It was like $30 on Amazon at one point.
They have multiplayer and they have campaign mode, and you would think campaign mode was story mode, but no, it's the same thing as their multiplayer.
Yeah, that seemed the multiplayer seemed to be the theme of like E3.
Yeah. Well,
So I
I
think a
was
lot of
really
games are going to take what
hoping.
Titanfall wanted to do and expand on it. And Destiny did it really well. Like I played a lot of the alpha of Destiny, and I love that game. I'm getting it
Yeah,
day
I
one.
haven't gotten to touch. I can't wait to get my hands on Destiny. Because it sounds like it's taking more of the elements that I think are
Well,
really.
it's an MMO. Like don't
Yeah,
let anyone tell
but
you it's not an MMO because
I
it
love
definitely is.
the shooty MMO. Like
Yeah, it's
I
nice.
get best of both worlds because I like roleplay games, but I also like pointless shooting stuff in the face violence. Like,
Okay, so we've established you're a gamer girl. What else? What are your throw a few of your favorite topics
Super.
out there. What are your favorite comics? What do you like? Throw us three of your favorite comics
I like
or
anything
characters.
Batman. Batman's my
Batman.
man. Otherwise, I'll go in Marvel. Batman's my DC guy.
That's how most
um,
people feel, so don't feel bad.
little bit of love for Superman because he was actually the first comic book character that I ever, witnessed when I was little. It was the original Superman cartoons, the
Okay.
old school where he couldn't fly and stuff.
Or where he still leaped tall buildings?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the beginning, like faster than a speeding
Oh yeah, that
bullet.
was the greatest intro ever.
Yes,
The
okay,
cartoon not so
those.
much, but the intro, the
Well,
first
yeah,
30
I
seconds was
have the intro
fantastic.
memorized. Yeah. Well, when I was a little kid, that was it, and that was my first. At that point, he was a cartoon character to me, and as I grew, then I realized, oh, comic books, okay. But I started to spread myself really thin because there's so much stuff out there that for a while, I'm so ADD, I guess. I couldn't follow one storyline. I was like, oh, there's Grimm's comic books. Oh, there's X-Files comic books. Oh, yeah, Batman. I forgot about him. And then, what are the Avengers doing?
I feel like that every day. Story of my life.
Now, I did point out that I saw some Doctor Who stuff behind you. So are you a Whovian or are
Yes.
you?
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness.
So I gotta ask you, who's your favorite Doctor?
The 10th. Tenet.
Okay, I like you. I'm a big Tenant Doctor myself.
Woo-hoo.
She's a 10 she's a 10 Doctor, so she's okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I've never heard anyone say anything else, by the way.
If you're you don't
See,
run in that
now,
community then.
I kept hanging out with a bunch of 11 fans, and I was calling him Doogie Howser, Space Doctor. I grew to like him too, though. But I mean, I like Eccleston, but he was only there for a short time, so
And
like
he's
you
the
got to like him, and then he's gone.
yeah, he's a
So
douchebag.
10.
So.
Well, yeah, that too, but 10. 10, man, especially like David Tennant's like backstory into becoming the 10th Doctor and stuff. Really passionate.
You don't obviously Casey doesn't know like the whole story with David Eccleston, how he refused to come back for the 50th anniversary, and even the showrunner was so pissed. It just he thinks he's above the whole Doctor Who thing. He's just a freaking dick.
He was in Thor for like 20 minutes. Okay.
Huh?
Wasn't he the villain in Thor?
That was neat, though.
Oh yeah, that's right. He was the.
Yeah,
Once I
he was
recognized
the
him, that was kind of neat.
for a whole like 20 minutes. So
Well, see,
he deserves his credit.
I heard that Eccleston just flat out said that he was more cut out for villain roles than good guy.
He came out and said he didn't agree with the way certain things had been going on the show while he was there, so he didn't want any part in what else was going on. So I don't know if that was an RDJ thing, the show, who was the showrunner at the time. He hasn't explained it, but and again, publicly, everybody else that's been involved with the show has been almost nothing but positive, except for Eccleston.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to not call him a douchebag.
This is true. I like to think of in his case his character more than him.
Yeah.
I still
didn't like his
the way
Doctor anyways.
But I like the way he introduced the Doctor. Although it's kind of weird that if the War Doctor was the Doctor before him, that he's kind of goofy and not, he was a bit of a dick, but not really like a grizzled. I just, I think I just killed all my people, whatever.
Well, we're getting off into the popcorn podcast territory. So
see, I need to just hop from podcast to podcast.
We're going to have a all Who podcast before Doctor Who comes back in August. So one of the things we will have is all Who. So we'll stow these topics till then. But yeah, I love
just let me be on all of the podcasts. I'll just every night just
kind of coast along.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
That's true.
It is. Not all of. Let's put it. I mean, the video game one. I don't think you'd have fun. I mean, they have fun because that's their thing, but they're not jokesters like us. Let's just put it that way. Let's be nice about it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's no fun. It's a lot more fun to listen to a podcast that's funny.
But sometimes you need that because when you have me and Chad, it's out of control, and then you need the dad to come in and like set everything in line.
That's my dad. All right.
So back. You didn't answer. I didn't get what her favorite comic book was. I didn't get what her favorite comic book was. She just said Batman in general. Do you have like a favorite storyline, like a favorite comic, something that you read like every once in a while? You see it on the shelf and you have to go pick it up.
Honestly, if the favorite storyline or comic book of all time would be The Killing Joke. That's old school, but
close but wrong answer. It's The Dark Knight Returns. All right. No, that's a fantastic book.
Oh my goodness.
You got to be quick. You got to be quick. I know you're a little nervous, Piper, but you got to come out swinging. We told you. You just got to come out swinging. See, that's why where I was abnormal. I think my first podcast, I was just decking them right away. But I'm 37 years old. I've been doing this kind of shit for a while, so I can't. I think my first one, and then Casey was like, "Dude, you belong." I was like, "All right, let's do this."
Yeah, I'm gonna miss you, buddy. All right, let's get sad up in here. Okay, let's talk about some comic books, shall we?
Yeah, let's do.
Piper, since you're the newbie, you get to go first. Now I know you have no excuses ever to say you didn't read a comic book, because I send you 40 a week. It's not allowed on this show. So what did you read this week?
Ooh, well, besides every X-File comic I could find. I did read I caught up on the Princess Ugg thing since that was mentioned. And I think it's cute, but so far I think it's looking like a very overused storyline.
Oh,
but at least it's being done in a cute way. It's overused though, it really is.
No, I agree. It is. It is kind of a cliched storyline, but when you're dealing with princesses, like, there's only so much you can do. Disney's fucking done it. Like, they're like, you remember the South Park episode where like they had like were trying to come up with new concepts, and every time they were just like, Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it.
Oh yeah.
So I feel that way about like the princess genre. Like, anything creative or outside of the box, Disney's tried and done. So you're not really you're kind of lost for stories at this point if you're gonna involve a bunch of princesses. But yeah, I agree. It is a little bit cliche, but I think it's done in a very creative way, and the art is stunning.
Yeah. I was gonna say I like the artwork. I like the way it's done, and I really like this clash that they're doing. That part is unique and really interesting. But I'm just saying that the storyline itself is cliche, but I wouldn't stop reading. I like it. I'm in there.
How weird was that part where they're like looking at her in the shower?
Yeah, that actually made me physically uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was like, this is weird. You guys were like ogling her like muscles in the shower, because so she's like way different. She's totally the opposite of all the other princesses, and she has like basically the body of Arnold Schwarzenegger. So totally like ogling her like in the shower and like talking about how her muscles don't like when her muscles move like they have to move other muscles.
Yeah, they're
To
making
me,
it
it's kind
all
of an
wiggly
uncomfortable
and
scene.
stuff, and
Yeah, I felt very
it,
uncomfortable reading it.
yeah, yeah.
Chad, you can read it, did you?
I felt like a gross ogling pervert for reading that. I guess like.
Yeah, they need to start putting ages in this book so I can like at least justify some of my feelings for the girls they show because that
Yeah,
it
because
made me
usually
really
when they do
nervous.
a coming of age thing, it's usually like anywhere between 13 and 18 is when they do those type of stories. So,
Yeah. So
but
fingers crossed.
she still looks banging in her fur outfit though, just not naked.
Yeah.
I get. I mean, I haven't read the second one yet, and I'm hearing what you guys are saying. But the presentation of the first one is she seems very young, naive, and immature. So that's a little weird.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, they seem much older, and the fact that they're showing them like, it's like half this book they're naked. I felt like, right? Like a good like 2 or 3 pages like of like them in the shower or like them getting dressed.
In the
It was,
beginning, they were taking baths.
I
Yeah, they
felt
were doing
yeah very
things.
uncomfortable. It was like the Japanese like those Japanese JRPGs where they're like you're just unsure. You just don't know. Like, how, is this illegal the way I'm feeling? I don't, like, this is not right. This is not right.
Now,
As
now,
long as you're looking at it in the privacy of your own home.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. There is the NSA. I don't know.
now
Yeah,
the
I
first
don't think I would
book,
read that issue on a train.
the first book we were talking about was appropriate for, I would say, 7 and up. Are we saying that in the second
It's
book?
still, that's the thing. It's still appropriate, and I actually think the situation is totally valid. Because I mean, you're over, like, once again, I mean, go back to our topic earlier. It's like you're subjugating or you're segregating someone based off their looks uh, and their just all around like not being like you. Like she's nothing like any of them. They've never seen anything like her. She's never seen anything like them. And so for just because of that, they don't understand her, and she doesn't
it's
understand them, vice versa. So
it's
yeah, it
your
is that
foreign exchange student here,
exactly.
like only hardcore.
There's no nudity per se. Like there's no one. You don't see any like boobs or butt or anything. But like
You don't see butt? I thought we saw
I,
butt.
I don't think you see any butt.
I think
But
you
it's
see
pretty
butt.
close.
You totally see butt. Hold on a minute. No, I'm
Uh,
gonna. I'm just kidding.
I was just say if there was butt Casey, he that stuff. He's
yeah.
like
I
a.
would have definitely noted that for sure.
I don't know. Something I remember. I think there was butt. A little bit of butt.
I
Yeah.
remember a bubble balloon definitely covering a naked woman at one point, definitely.
See, and like my son's 8, and I don't think that I would after the second one at least. I don't know if I would let him get a hold of it.
Yeah,
But
see,
it
that's a
still
good question
seems
in the
like it's
chat,
aimed
because,
towards younger audience.
yeah, it's not like it's girl nudity, so like I mean a girl should be
So
okay
it's
with
girl
her
nudity.
body.
It's okay.
Well, you know what I mean? Like I'm saying, like I don't like. I think I'd be much more
It's no,
apprehensive of my
if it's
son seeing naked women than like a naked
if it's
man.
hanging dong, if it's dong, it's not okay. That's what you're saying.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
that's I
I
don't
would say
know.
that's not
Should I
okay.
call
Like I would
sexism
like.
there? Like if it's a
No,
naked chick, it's cool, but
I know that's totally sexist. You're right, it is. But like I would be much more
I'll
comfortable
admit
with my
though,
daughter
I
seeing a
don't
naked woman than a naked
like.
man.
I rather see the naked comic book chicks than some dong. Like that is true.
Yeah, but as an adult, like that's fine. But like I said, I would
Now,
rather
not
like.
suggested dong on the right, superhero guy.
Oh, what is
I
happening?
wouldn't mind.
Speaking of the Watchmen, and,
Right? I was thinking about that the whole time.
oh, I can never erase the image of Blue Dong out of my
Oh
mind.
my God. Giant blue dong, man. Just
So,
Just
did you read the
weird.
Watchmen
see in
book, Chad?
3D, because
You fell asleep in the movie.
Did you read the Watchmen book? Chad?
No, but my wife just reminded me.
There's way
I fell
more
asleep
blue dong
during
in the book.
At the movie theater.
Is there?
Oh yeah. Way
No,
more.
I never
Like,
watched
he
it.
never wears clothes
I
in the book.
never read it.
And the movie's fantastic. That's actually one Zack Snyder movie I like.
I did not fall asleep through the movie, but I
was
think
tired.
there's 3D dong, and that was kind of made me not want to go to 3D
All right.
movies.
Way too
anymore.
much dong talk.
That's the name of the name of the episode.
That would never fly by.
Dong talk. Hey, I'm a side admin now. You know what I'm saying?
Do it.
If it doesn't work out, I'll just make a YouTube channel and it's Dong Talk with Piper.
Wow.
Are you talking about leaving us? Just one episode.
No, I'll stay here too.
That's going to be her spin-off show.
Yeah, it's a spin-off.
So coming soon on the Geeks with Wives, the Geeks with Wives podcast network. It'll be Dong Talk, all dong, all the time.
Oh yeah.
That'll be the 4th podcast.
And then we'll have to switch to a porn site and actually make money. All right.
If I can keep my shirt on, like I'm already enjoying the fact that this is a gig that I don't have to wear pants for.
Oh,
but,
wait a minute. What's going
so
on?
if I can keep my shirt on, we're good.
Okay.
You can't stand up.
I
Keep
can't.
this off YouTube. Oh lordy, this got weird.
Yeah, where did it go?
Piper, what else did you read this week, or in
Um,
general, while you were waiting to join our show?
I've read. Well, let's see.
You read X-Files. So you're reading the X-Files season 10.
Yeah, I just read like one random one that I found where I loved it. The main thing that ticked me off was that like everybody looked like they're actual actors and characters except Krychek. I didn't know who the hell that was supposed to be until somebody said something. And I was like, "Oh, you didn't make him look all, like Krychek.
Maybe,
It just looks like some dude."
Maybe he wouldn't like give up his likeness.
It's possible.
That is possible. I was kind of disappointed that it was hard to keep track of who that was supposed to be for a little bit. Like they had to keep reminding me by saying his name.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, the actor who played Krychek has actually been on Sci-Fi, on the show Continuum. I wonder if there was any issues with that. He got killed off. But he
Spoiler alert.
He does do that.
Yeah, he took a bullet to the head on that show. But I forget what his name was. But yeah, he's that is kind of weird because yeah, they've been pretty faithful in that book. I haven't read season 10 yet. I need to. I think
I just need to read, all the other seasons.
Okay, so remind me, Piper, and I'll get you those books for sure.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, because see, I had this plan to just collect every X-Files comic book and Doctor Who comic book I could get my hand on.
Well, they'll be in digital form, but I'll try.
Close enough.
I'll get them to you. Just have to remind me.
I'll touch my screen, and then
Fine.
it'll almost be the same.
Yeah. So, how do you feel? I mean, Chad, you read some of those season like extenuations of comic books. How do you guys feel about that? Like, does it work? Do you feel it's like an actual extenuation of the episode? Because I'm reading the Buffy the Vampire Slayer one, and I don't know. It just doesn't feel the same at all.
My problem, and again, I can't talk about the X-Files one where I think I may have read one book or whatever, but some of the other ones that I've read, they seem to be a little more of a parody, like everything they couldn't do on the TV show that kept a lot of them grounded. They seem to exacerbate that and make it so much, try and make it bigger and crazier, which really takes away that personalization for them. Again, I'm not talking about the X-Files or whatever because I haven't seen that, but I know like the X-Files one the X-Files conspiracy one made me feel a little bit like that, and I know those are supposed to be a little more
that was crazy.
They're supposed to be out there, but they're just a little too far out there,
Well, I do think that since they're not in the constraints of the show, they get a little more artistic leeway, I guess. But yeah. I do like that even in the show they kind of did the Monster of the Week kind of deal, and I always loved those because, too much of the conspiracy episodes would get a little dull.
Yeah.
But I like, so far, I like that even the conspiracy comic books, they actually seem to clear up some stuff that the show left really confusing.
Okay. Like what? Why don't you throw it at me? Throw it at me.
Like, what the hell happened to Mulder? Now, obviously, the actor bailed, but I stopped watching halfway through the last season because I was just like, screw this. It's gotten way too stupid, and it's all conspiracy episodes now.
Yeah.
So it got boring and it got dull. Like they tried way too hard to make things even more complicated. So I like that the comic books just like, well, here's where he's been the whole time because they don't need the actor; they can draw him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And again, I mean, like some of those creative decisions and stuff. Maybe we can.
What
Please
is
turn
that?
off all ringers and cell phones.
It's like someone's trying to escape a basement dungeon.
But
Forgot about that. That was Tiny Tina.
if you're really reading up on that
Close.
stuff and everything,
Right?
I would. I'm getting a phone call. I don't even know who that is. I would say that we could probably get Dean back on the show at some point. You can grill him.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
All right, so we are already running way over on time because we just talk to the shit constantly.
We got well. What did you say? We run an hour 15. So if we're gonna run an hour 15,
Okay.
that means we still got half an hour.
I want to talk about that Ninja Turtles trailer because me and Piper are gonna have words.
Okay. Let's talk about it.
Oh no.
No, I gotta talk about my comic books real fast. Leave me out of this discussion. Okay, so I have a huge stack too, by the way. So I'm gonna go really fast. Because I'm also gonna preview some stuff. So if you guys want to read along with us, you can. Because I'll show you what's coming up here soon. Okay, so out this week, a big important comic book, especially if you're a DC and Superman fan. Superman number 32 by Jeff Johns and John Romita Jr. I fucking loved it. I loved it so much. I don't know why though. So don't ask me. Mainly, I think it's because Jeff Johns knows. I mean, he's so ingrained in DC at this point, and just so immersed in his characters. I mean, he must call himself Clark Kent like 3 times a week, just because he has to just live that life constantly. So he really just kind of lets Superman be Superman. He puts him back at the Daily Planet. He kind of fixes the other things that people were kind of trying to change about Superman in past books. And then he puts him up, and then he introduces another like superpowered being like Superman, which is kind of a Superman cliche, yes. But I mean, what else can Superman do but fight people that are as strong as he is? I just really enjoyed the artwork most of all because I am such a fan of John Romita Jr. And once again, I don't know why. I just enjoyed the aesthetic is so pleasing. And for example, I can't see this, so Piper, let me know if you guys can. Like this splash page is just amazing. It's so gorgeous and beautiful, and the character and it's so like stylized. Like you can just pick out his artwork, like instantly, and you definitely know it's him. And being like a fan of Kick-Ass and all those other books he draws on, I just am so like just pleased at looking at it, and it's really fun. And I think anything Jeff Johns kind of writes is always going to be great because, like I said, he just knows the characters so well. So if you're looking for a Superman book or looking to get back into Superman book, this is definitely the one to check out for sure. Also out this week is Uncanny number 21, Uncanny Avengers. Not going to talk too much about this because this is the second to last issue before Rick Remender's into this giant arc where Earth has essentially been destroyed, and the part of the Avengers had that to go back in time, and there's X-Men involved. It's just a big time travel hoopla mess.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's really really good, but I can't set to explain it in 10 seconds. So if you're reading this book, if you have been reading this book, you're not going to stop now. So you've picked this up already, and if you're not reading this book, then you have to start from the beginning. So go check out Uncanny Avengers number 1. Also, that's terrible advice. Where did we lose Chad?
It
No,
looks like it.
No,
Oh.
I got a phone call. You guys were talking comics that I didn't read. So
President of the world, getting phone calls. Also out this week, and this is the first time you guys are ever going to hear me say anything bad about Guardians of the Galaxy, so press record. It's Guardians of the Galaxy number 16, and although I enjoy the storyline where the Guardians have been separated and they've kind of had to like find out how to get back to one another, I really fucking hate the art. I know it's so bad to say.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, so here I'll try to find a good page, and it's the movie's fault, and I man, I hate saying that, but it totally is. I'm trying to find just a bad
Oh
example.
no.
But like they went from and it's not that okay. I guess fucking hate the art is way too strong a word. I really just dislike the art style that they chose to go with, and that's just a bad example of a page. But it went from this really like cool art style, this like really like down to earth art style to like this really like cartoony, like Saturday morning cartoon like art
Yeah,
style. And
it
then
does
like
kind of.
yeah, and then they have to like, and this is the movie's fault, and I'm like I said, I'm a huge fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, but they have to go up and like make his costume like just like the Guardians of the Galaxy movie costume for no reason whatsoever. It's not explained for any reason. Just one day he goes from wearing one thing to the other thing, and it's like nope, he just had a change of clothes over in the corner, I guess, and all of a sudden he's wearing something different. And then his gun, like this has really bugged me about the comic book. Once again, totally just nitpicking. I've always talked so much like praise on Guardians of the Galaxy. I feel like I have to talk about a little bit of shit about it. So his gun in the comic has always been like it's only his gun, like Judge Dredd's like enforcer. Like he's the only one that can touch it. He's the only one who can use it. So it's a super unique gun. But then they make it just like the movie gun, which is just like a generic like gun that like everybody has. It's just I don't know. Like
I
just
don't even
pisses
want to
me
think
off.
about it because that part makes me sad.
Yeah, it's like you're taking away everything that's special or that was cool about these characters and their design and all that stuff, and you're like forcing it into like the movie setting, which I understand why you're doing it, but like I'm totally okay with the comic books and the movies being completely separate. Like they don't have to like overlap. It's all good.
Although
Fucking
I do
Marvel.
kind of understand because thanks to the movies, you're getting more and more younger people and stuff interested in the comic books.
Oh yeah,
So
it's
I
totally a
suppose
market.
they have to mold the comic books kind of to the movies because the movies are what's grabbing people to go pick up the comic books. I can see that.
Yeah, it's totally a marketing thing. And like I said, I'm sure giving the artists and creators like uh preference, they would have kept the original costumes and set and design and all that stuff. But I'm sure marketing was like, hey, dudes, this movie's coming out and nobody knows what the fuck it is, so we need to promote the crap out of it in every which way or form. So that means all your characters and all your toys and everything are getting the movie treatment. Sorry, which is kind of lame. Because I really like the original costume. Like I love it. That's why I like the character.
I,
Also,
I think I think they'll go back after a while. I've seen a lot of the comics turn back around.
yeah, if it bombs, definitely it'll go back.
Oh well, yeah.
Although I'm gonna see it 20 times, so I'm sure it's gonna be fine.
You're,
Um,
you're 20 times. That's going to prop it up.
yeah, that'll just put it just over the edge for the sequel.
Well, just for the raccoon, everybody, kids, babies, old ladies, they're gonna go see it for the damn raccoon.
I don't know, Groot. I think Groot's going to be right there.
Oh no, dude. Okay,
Oh,
so
I know.
I took a bunch of kids to go see How to Train Your Dragon 2 today, and that the big Guardians of the Galaxy standee was up or whatever, and it's the one. It's like just basically the poster picture, and all of them commented on look the raccoon, every single one of them.
See,
Um,
raccoon's gonna
that,
get
that thing,
him.
yeah, that's gonna make the movie for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the interest of moving on, because like I said, we could talk about this shit all day. Uh, Justice League 31. Basically, in this issue, Lex Luthor is trying to force his way into the Justice League because he feels like he deserves it because he saved the world after the whole events of Forever Evil. So it's a kind of cool like battle between him and Batman onto why he should be a Justice League member and how he knows Batman's Bruce Wayne and all this cool like psychological stuff. And then Captain Cold's in there somewhere too. So it's like once again, if you're not reading Justice League already, then you should probably start from Forever Evil at least. But if you are reading Justice League, you definitely read this book, and it's fun. Like I said, Jeff Johns is allowed to, because he's kind of like the overruler of DC, he's allowed to take these books and just do crazy out of the box things with them, and that's when we get the best stories. I feel like because it's not the same rundown cliche over and over again. Finally, the best comic out by far is Batman, and I've said it three times
Naturally.
already. But yeah, if you're not reading, if you're a Riddler fan, this is so far has been the best Riddler story I've ever read. It really shows like how smart the Riddler is and how dangerous he is. He's essentially taken down all of Gotham City and Batman and thwarts him at every twist and turn. It's a lot of fun. The art, I've said this once again a million times about this book, but the art is so reminiscent of the animated series. And so beautiful and just so fun to look at. And Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder are just perfect artists on this book, or a perfect team on this book. And I wouldn't care if they wrote anything else. I really wouldn't. Like they could just work on Batman forever. I really just love it so much.
Who's Greg Capullo?
Greg Capullo, he's an artist.
There's Greg Capullo. He's an artist.
Capullo, whatever.
Oh my goodness.
Capullo, Capullo, tomato.
I kind of feel bad that we're all happy with the animated, reminiscent artwork here, but we're ragging on the cartoony artwork on the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, yeah, it's not right. I agree with you, but like I said, it fits. I just number one, the Batman animation, even for like its time, was super dark and gritty. Like it was not.
Yeah,
like
I loved it.
It was on at Friday nights at like 7:30. Like that's when it first started airing. So I'm much more okay with that. Like it's still like I feel like it's much more geared towards an adult. And it fits. It just fits. It's gorgeous. Like this is a gorgeous
true
page.
because
amazing.
we're about the age where that animated series was like really cool when we were still preteens and stuff. We were still really young. So yeah, we should appreciate it now. I see that.
Let's keep this weed to the two of you. Let's do that.
What?
The we preteen thing? You guys are a lot younger than I am, so.
Okay, so when you were 16, did you watch Batman? Come on now.
No, I did. No, I was we were preteen. I think you and Casey are probably a little closer in age. I'm hitting the big 37 here in a
Oh my gosh.
You're close enough.
You're like my dad's age.
In a couple of in a few
You could
weeks,
be my grandpa. Oh my goodness.
I could be. I could be. But hey, I'm thinking 37. That's just so close to 40. It's kicking my ass.
All right, enough old man talk. So I'm done. Also, I'm gonna read, or I guess I have Spider-Man still to read and some other stuff, but I haven't read them yet. So
let's get to our main topic since we're
running in a row. So Chad, you want to read the letter first, actually, or do we want to save that?
Yeah, let's read the letter. We got some. Maybe hey, do you have like do like a little noise, like a viewer mail? Do a jingle.
No,
viewer mail.
Yeah, that was viewer mail. Doesn't happen that much. It's not jingle worthy. We
don't really. We get a lot of feedback on Twitter and stuff like that, but we almost instantly, go between Casey and I, and then Kenny on the other one. I mean, there's several of us that participate. We usually get right back to it, but we actually got a nice long email correcting us on something that we talked about last week. But it was a subject that just came up, so it's not like we would have had the information at hand. We were talking about Miracle Man and Shazam and the lawsuits and everything, and someone sent us an email here to clear it up. So I'm just going to read it word for word. It says, "Greetings, I come in peace. I've been loving Geeks with Wives and Geeks with Wives podcast via Podcast Addict. Apparently, I don't see Capes listed in here. So, Seth, you screwed up. You didn't throw Capes on there, buddy. So, I had to point that out first.
It's specifically geared to our episode, so obviously
no. You didn't mention it in the email, though, Seth. So I think this is irrelevant. But no, thank you, Seth, because it is very good here. Let's see. I listen to you and other podcasts as I deliver papers from 2:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. Then I go to work. Then I go to work at Wendy's. That is why I'm now emailing you. I don't know what that has to do with Wendy's. But it has to do with listening to the podcast. I'm sorry, Seth. I'm not trying to be mean.
Oh my goodness, Chad. No one's ever going to email us again.
You're picking apart his email instead of reading it.
I'm an editor. That's what I do, right? I mean, toward the
Don't
end.
do it out loud.
Toward the end, there was some confusion over the lawsuits of comic history that made me cringe. That is my area of nerddom, so allow me to untangle that web. There were several things that got confused. First, Captain Marvel, the Shazam Captain Marvel, was created by the now-defunct Fawcett Comics. DC sued over his resemblance to Superman and won. When Fawcett went under, DC bought them out and resurrected the character. At the time, Timely and Atlas had an anthology titled Marvel Comics when Stan Lee, awesome but overcredited by Cass earlier in the episode. Jeez, man, this guy's taking shots at all of us. Hey, buddy. Hey, get a podcast. Get your own podcast.
Oh my God, he's never gonna listen again.
Began co-creating his superhero characters. The company rebranded as the Marvel Comics we know and love. They created their own Captain Marvel, and DC avoided confrontation despite having the superior legal claim by retitling this series as Shazam. They did this to prevent bad PR with comic fans. DC also sued another company over Wonder Man, a panel-by-panel ripoff of Superman that they hired Will Eisner's studio to create, and they won. You'll see many references to this case in the Smallville episode that introduces Atana. DC has not sued over Marvel Man, aka Miracle Man. Alan Moore created the character in England, but when he brought him to the US, Marvel got upset. Hence the name change. I hope this clarifies things. I highly recommend the 10-cent plaque, The Great Comics Scare and How It Changed America, as a comics history resource. I would love to contribute to the show, but with 2 jobs totaling 65 plus hours a week, 2 kids and one on the way, and a blog of my own, and his blog, here's his blog. It's www.braindripping.wordpress.com. I just don't have the time for anything unpaid. Keep up the good podcasting. Live long and prosper. Seth Englehart. So thank you for that, Seth.
He's absolutely right, too.
He is right. But, you know, with something like that, and it is hard, we do a lot of show prep beforehand, but that was a topic that was...
You may do a lot of show prep.
Yeah. That was a topic that was thrown in there, and yeah, it was just thrown in there. It was tough, but thank you for clarifying that, Seth.
And I don't read books. That's why I read comic books, because too many words scare me.
So he says he's the geek with a wife, but his kids have the capes. So... All right, thank you again, Seth, and that will lead us into our topic this week, our big one that we're going to spend the next 5 minutes that we have left talking about.
About how you bullied Seth about his email.
Yeah, I did. You know what? And I did. I bullied. No, Seth. If we didn't appreciate it, Seth, we wouldn't. We wouldn't have read it.
A nice long email thanking him, and yes, we do appreciate the emails and the praise and the corrections. Believe me, I say a lot of stupid shit on here all the time.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Feel free to send me emails and correct me. It just means that I know that you're listening, which makes me happy. So.
All right. So do you want to take us? You want me to take us into our topic? What are we doing here?
No, you can take us in.
Okay.
You can take us.
So I wanted to talk about a subject that and the reason it came up is I've just kind of been all sides bombarded by it lately. And it's nothing new. It's but being in the geek community and being a father of 3 daughters that are 2 of them are at school age now, it was something that I wanted to address, and I wanted to address bullying and shaming and of the like, and really discuss adversity and what it means to us. I mean, we call ourselves geeks, and really I think a lot of that is because we've embraced that culture, and now it's become acceptable. Whereas when my wife's throwing shit at me, apparently, I just saw a little baby stroller go flying by behind me. Jeez, talk about being bullied over here. You know what I'm saying? But it's something that's been embraced, whereas when I was younger, and I'm sure a lot of us were younger, geek and nerd and everything, what they weren't embraceable terms like they are now. And it was just the topic I wanted to talk about. Like I said, I know I've been kind of trying to counsel some people a little bit on it. There's someone that reached out to me on Twitter that has been kind of having a hard time with life, and had said that they at 15 they'd come out and lost a lot of friends for coming out, and it in this day and age, in this world that we're in, stuff like that just devastates me, that we're still at that point. And it's, and discussing this with and experiencing with other people. Like my best friend is an out lesbian, and she's still my best friend. She's my child's goddaughter, and I mean, there's nothing rubbing off on them. There's no disease. There's nothing weird at all about it. But the fact that people still live in this shell and allow it to affect other people's lives in such an impactful and negative way just really, it gets to me, and it disappoints me. And it was something that I wanted to talk about on this show, maybe to give some people that are listening, you may be having a hard time, you can talk to us, that it's okay to be different. I know Casey and I have been talking about it a little bit off and on before we got to this topic, that I was one of the smallest guys in school. I was small and shy and and just easily picked on, and I went through it terribly. I would come out of school, be in the 3rd, 4th grade, and just have a group of guys that just wanted to beat me up just for being the littlest guy, to prove themselves. And I don't think you realize just how difficult it is to live life that way, feeling ashamed and feeling afraid just to walk out your door and just to go to school and just to go do those things. And if we could talk about it for a few minutes and maybe help one person, I just wanted to be able to do that. I know you had some ideas on it, Casey. Why don't you? I don't want to.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm with you. I was totally bullied and picked on as a kid because, yeah, I was the smallest one. I had the weird last name. Your
name is Walsh. What the fuck?
I know, but my nickname was Washing Machine. That's about my name was Washing Machine for my first 5 years of my life.
My name is Osuna. I got called Otuna and beat up like my whole life. Like
I understand. I mean, I get you. Like I said,
my last name is
thing.
Steed, so I kept getting called Horseface because I got big teeth and my last name's Steed.
Wow. But then see, and these are all things I think I know for myself, affected me in the way I grew up. I mean, Casey, you're saying it gave you strength in life, but
yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think I would be the same person if I wasn't, because like I said, number one, it taught me how to be quick on my feet and how to think faster than everybody else. Because obviously if you listen to the show, I try to say the first fucking funny thing that comes out of my mouth because I know it's going to ease the tension in the room and it's going to make everyone laugh. So that was always my first. That's what got me punched in the face. So I mean, that was always my first reaction, was to just say something funny and hope that they laughed or they were going to punch me. And then but like I said, it helped me grow as a person. And then, but at the same time, I did have a support structure at home, and I had parents who cared and would talk to me, and I would go home and talk to them, and they were totally supportive, and they would say, hey, like those people are assholes, and they're not you. Like you're going to be a good person in life, and they're going to be gutter punks, or they're going to be like druggies or whatever. There's going to be bad people, because that's just the negative. That's the energy they put out, and that's the people. That's what they show the world. So that's what they're going to turn into. So I mean, I understand that yes, we all. But at the same time, I think everyone faces adversity. Maybe that guy was going home and getting his ass kicked by his dad. I don't know, like that. And so I just don't. I don't know. I feel like everyone needs someone to talk to you once in a while, and we should all get along all the time. But trying to like stand up to bullying and say it needs to stop, it's never going to stop. It's in kids' nature to pick on the weaker kid. They're animals. I have a 2-year-old. She's a fucking maniac. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just it's not going to stop. So it's more. I think it's more important to educate people. And don't get me wrong, if it starts getting physical, like, definitely, like,
you know what, I completely disagree with you. I think the physical, for the most part, is the less damaging, and we're looking at it.
I think the emotional is what you take with you.
Well, and we're looking at it from a generational standpoint,
right,
to where when I was a kid, there wasn't Facebook, there wasn't Twitter. All these people couldn't go on and just shame me to the world.
Yeah,
And
you're right.
I mean
When you
that
get
has
home,
to
it
be a
stops,
for kids these days.
for
I
the
mean,
most part.
you can't go home and get away from it anymore. I mean, you
Yeah.
literally you can't recover from it. So, always being plugged in can be such a devastating thing for kids. And if we aren't aware of it, and as parents monitoring, what's going on and addressing it and things, especially with our children, I think that's very important. But I sent you guys an article. Did you guys get a chance to read it at all?
I did.
I read the article and I have lots to say, which
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't know. I don't
think
know if you're
will.
like my
I have a
opinion on
lot
the
to say.
article.
I
Um,
because in adults, really adults,
Okay.
adults
Yeah.
are still doing this immature. Professional adults are still doing this immature crap. We still have racism. We still have gay bashing, and
Mm-hmm.
we still have see now we have like fat shaming. And the worst part of that is, as a retaliation, I get my Facebook and my Twitter flooded with thin shaming. And I'm like, well, I understand that you want to lash out, but at the same time, I'm not doing it. And you're making me feel bad. You're making me feel like I'm being a jerk when I don't bash anybody.
And
Well, except Michael Bay.
and that's what's so weird about, especially with the advent of social media, how it has become this anonymous way for for people that
and that's the problem,
uh,
though. It's because it's anonymous. Like, I think when you start putting like you start putting people face to face, except for in that case, because that guy was just a complete asshole. Like, I don't know there's nothing to say
well,
about
let's
that.
just let's outline the article so people know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I have the article up here. It's called "Humiliated at the NYC Con," so the big con,
New York Comic Con.
New York Comic Con, and it's an article by, her name is Vixen Varsity. She has a website much like ours where they do news and everything, and she was attending there as press. And I really related to her on this because this is what I do. I go attend the stuff as press. I don't cosplay, but my kids do. And in reading the
And I
article,
go and cosplay, but I cosplay for similar reasons-ish.
yeah. Now, in reading her article, is very well written. I felt like her embarrassment and her shame just for being herself. Because if you look at it, and we'll put a link to it to what we're talking about on there, it was like a thigh-high skirt and some fishnets and. And she's a chunky girl. So what? If she's got a sweater on.
It looked good to me. I thought it looked good. Now, I only saw a picture from
Regardless
the back, but
of how it looks or whatever, like the fact of the point is, like, if you're gonna set a standard, that standard needs to go across everybody.
Exactly, and
There's no way,
what
shape, or
got brought up.
form,
that was my
way
biggest
less
thing too.
like
Was she
showing
took
yeah.
pictures of cosplayers on the Saturday where she wasn't cosplaying,
Mhm.
and then they harassed her on Sunday and said they told the other girls the same thing. Why didn't they tell those other girls Saturday? Why did they show back up Sunday in those cosplays?
Yeah.
Obviously,
and
they weren't told. And
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
think anybody complained to him either, honestly. That's what I think.
I think it's actually a broader discussion about cosplay in general and the problem of it with becoming so popular. And I mean, you can throw in here as a cosplay in this discussion if you want. But like, they're just now. I think some people, and I'm not like generalizing or anything. I'm not saying it's you or anybody else, but some people do it just for the shock value at this point. And it's like, how sexy can I be? How much skin can I show? How cool can I make this? How provocative can I make this? And that is like, I just feel like that's wrong, especially because yes, there are kids and young people at this event, and you are not necessarily representing. Well, okay, in most comic book cases, you probably are more representing the character, the more naked you go, but you should still show a little bit of decency when you're like on the street amongst people. Like, they get a little out of control
For
sometimes.
the most part, if the majority of your costume is body paint, there was a better way to do that costume.
Yeah, right. You're just doing
I
it to show your
do
nipples.
agree. I'm not going to, bash on cosplayers, but if you're taking a character that already has a skimpy suit and you decide you want to make it even skimpier, But if you're going for, matching up with the comic book character, yes, a lot of girls, lots of cleavage, lots of booty, whatever, that's fine. You're going off the comic book at least. But if you take that and go, well, what if I just turn it into pasties in a thong bikini, then it's no.
Right.
Stop
And
that.
it's obviously not something that's necessary. I mean, our one of our regular hosts, Natalie, is a pretty well-known cosplayer, and she's in modeling. But most of her stuff is very kind of 60s pinup type renditions of things, of bunnies, and then Batman, kind of the old 66 style Batman, sexy Batgirl type stuff, and things like that. So yeah, I mean, you can do it, and not.
You can do it, but you can do
I'm
it
not saying-
tastefully.
I'm not even saying, I'm not even saying that it doesn't have to be
You can do
sexy
it
or it doesn't have to be
tastefully,
something,
though.
and this is, I mean, you guys can call me out, and this is a bad example or not, but I have seen there's a Witchblade cosplay out there. A Witchblade? You guys know what Witchblade is?
Whew, yeah.
Yeah, where
There's a cosplay.
it's
She's
glued
literally
on.
just wearing like glued-on pasties. I understand. It
I
looks
watched the
fantastic.
video. I watched that video last night, and it's weird. Yeah,
It looks great,
it's
but like you're
uncomfortable.
walking around amongst people and you are naked. Like all it would take is a nice fat man to run by you and like brush off against you hard enough, and that thing is coming off.
Well, and
so,
I think that probably brings up another topic, and I know we're getting to some other things that we want to talk about on some future episodes, like cosplay is not consent and stuff like that. There is a fine line.
Say about
Yeah,
all of that.
Yeah, she dresses very sexily, but it doesn't give that fat man to run by and brush up against her. All that stuff. But
Well, if
I
that's
think
what
I
it
think
takes,
we're
if
getting
that's what
very
it
off.
takes, I think to make a nice costume or to make a realistic costume, then just watch where you wear it. If you wear it for a photo shoot, awesome. If you're walking around a convention with kids, maybe not so much.
And
we're getting off topic.
It's a totally different topic. It's actually a topic that I got into with somebody on Twitter recently, where they talked about that, and I got slammed about. It's just weird. Like, they were actually shaming the Miss America or whatever for stating that she was a black belt and could defend herself, and said that she was telling women they needed to prevent things themselves. It was really weird. I don't even. That's a totally different
we're
topic.
on bullying, and we're on bullying. But the bullying was brought to her article is not the first one that I have read like hers. I have read many that are like hers. There was a girl that drew a comic about her experience wanting to cosplay Wonder Woman, and she said that she was a bigger girl and everybody was, I guess, the convention itself wasn't ripping into her, but everybody there was ripping into her. But and she realized that they were also ripping into this skinny, big-breasted woman, but for different reasons. So they were both getting shamed at the same time for two different reasons. And she put it in the form of a comic, and it actually made me cry. It was so sad.
Casey, are you retweeting stuff like as we're podcasting here? Like, I'm going to look up like some of the tweets from earlier that we had with people on the site, and it's like Casey just retweeted the cover of Arrow Girl. I'm like, come on, Casey.
What? You're not listening?
Attention? Come on, Casey.
You're playing on Twitter.
Being a dick.
I number one, I can't see you.
What
so
a dick.
Let's see. I was trying.
I know what this thing. I have to do multiple things here, Chad. It is the job of a host. I gotta keep track of the guideline. I gotta keep track of Twitter.
I know. You tweeted so much stuff. I'm having to go back and find that tweet with all those responses.
It was two things. You need to calm your roll down.
Where the hell is it? No, but we got some great tweets and some good advice for especially us being of the geek, but really it is a geek genre that we revel in now. And why the hell can I not find it? See if you can find it, Casey. I wanted to read a couple of those outright, but it really is the advice and the consensus from a lot of people was once they embraced who they were able to be themselves, and they were able to enjoy themselves. And I really think if you do something like come out and you lose friends, you weren't meant to have those friends.
Right.
Yeah, those weren't your friends in the first place.
They weren't your friends because, and you're right, because what really changed about you that was different yesterday. You were the same person. You still liked girls or boys the day before. and they liked you then. So what really changed? And it's something I think even as adults that's a very difficult realization to come to. I mean, I had to give up a 20-year friendship.
Because you came out?
Not because I came out, but because life changed.
Comments like
it was
that got me punched in the face all the time.
Yeah, she left it open.
But there are times where you have to really have to realize that that those aren't the people. I mean, a friend, I think a friend really stands by you. Doesn't always agree with you, but stands by you. And I'll give my best friend, as a hopefully she hears this. She's gone right now, and it makes me very sad. She's like my sister. We've been good friends for about 8 years now. And I think we really stand by each other. We were friends before I was married, before I had kids. She became their aunt. She became their one of my youngest is godmother. And when I found out that, or when she found the courage to tell me, or we were close enough that she was gay. And it wasn't a big deal, and it has never been a big deal for me. But I can only imagine for other people the reaction that they get, because it's still a very divisive thing, even this day and age, because of religion and because of people's just pettiness. I can't say enough, to how liberal I am when it comes to things and social values and stuff like that. But there's no agenda. There's no they want to make other people gay or anything like that.
The thing that kills
Are you sure,
me
Chad?
most
Are you
is,
sure?
I'm sure. Casey, I've tried with you, honey.
I know.
the fact that you can still call someone gay as an insult is the biggest problem. Like,
but that's a problem of our generation. I mean, really, I use that insult all the time when I was a kid, all the time, and I don't anymore.
Actually, when I was a kid, I did, but I didn't quite, fully
I didn't understand. I don't think I understood
what it meant. Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, it wasn't derogatory.
To be a dumb kid again.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, okay, adults, trying to use that as an insult. It's childish at this point. And you really can't hurt the feelings of people around you. You can be a douche to people around you without even knowing it, because you're trying to be a douchebag to one guy or girl.
Yeah, I just take your time, and even as geek, even if you're bullied, and you felt those things, take a look at yourself a little bit too, and see what you can do to reverse that for other people in your life. You may have affected other people in that way, and that's really how it can start. I know myself. Again, I'm going to be 37 years old, and finally at this point in my life, for the most part, I've surrounded myself with maybe not like-minded people, but people. I think people that surround themselves with like-minded people. That's a whole other podcast right there. It drives me crazy. But I think people that are compassionate and open to discussion and care about me, and just if you have those issues, move on, find a group. That's the other benefit of being on the internet, is you can find a group anywhere that will support what you love for anything. If you love Doctor Who, I can go Google Doctor Who chat rooms and find one in 30 seconds to get my Who on right now.
Wait, chat rooms are still a thing?
Chat rooms.
You know
I
what?
thought that died with AOL.
I'm feeling bullied now. Okay, well, don't they have that Snapchat, and they have all that stuff. All those kids.
I don't even know what Snapchat is.
I don't know.
Your Instagrams and your Flickrs and your
bulletin
Snapchats.
boards, and hey, there's somebody there. Hey, how you doing? Who's that?
That was Chris.
Hey,
all right.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
On Twitter, that's Judeos.
I don't know how it is.
He's doing.
Hey, no free plugs around here.
Yeah.
No free plugs.
But now I hope we've done the topic a little bit of justice. It's something that we want to revisit, I think, on a cosplay level and the shaming level later. But I really wanted to be able to have the conversation that life does get better if you allow it to. If you allow yourself to revel in that. And
Basically, if you're an adult and you're getting
yeah.
bullied, cut those fucking people out of your life and take a look at yourself.
Tell-
If you're a kid and getting bullied, go talk to your mom and dad about it, or teacher, or somebody, and let them know. Because there's only the only person that's going to help you
no.
is you. Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
No, she's
No.
talking to somebody else.
Oh.
The laundry getting dumped on the floor behind me.
What is happening?
Dirtbag.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I think it's time to wrap this.
No, you don't. So
Let's
we're
see.
not going to fisticuffs over Teenage Mutant Ninja.
Here's my thing about
Monster.
okay, well, real quick. I get why you don't like it. I understand that, and I understand. But at the
Are
same
you
time,
sure? Are you
don't-
sure?
I think it needs a change. I think it needed a reboot. It's not. I want to give it a chance.
Okay,
I
there's
really do.
reboot, and then there's make them look like some hippopotamus turtle freaking crossbreed.
That'll
I
tell
like
you.
the way they
Add
look.
explosions
I'll tell you-
everywhere. Attach a
Well-
bunch of scissors to Shredder, and then Megan Fox, because Megan Fox. She is
Like I
not
said,
April O'Neil. What the
The
hell?
movie's gonna save
I'm
itself
so
one way.
pissed.
It's gonna save itself one way. If Shredder, when they have that Shredder costume and his little stomach is gonna open up at some point and it's gonna show Krang, and I'm gonna all in. You can make the turtles fucking mosquitoes for all I care. I don't care what at that point. If you introduce Krang into that universe, I'm all in. And I think that's what they're gonna do.
I think they will probably explore
bad.
it more. I think they'll probably explore it more. We talked about this on older podcasts that the original turtles are basically guys in a turtle shell. They're men in a turtle shell. Period.
Yeah, that
I
was
think
awesome.
they probably tried to go at this on if this happened as an experiment, this is what may grow out of that. And
Now here's the thing. You remember those three Ninja Turtle movies where it was guys in these like funky suits and stuff? Those look better than this crap.
I agree. The CGI is a little wonky.
This CGI crap looks terrible. Bring back those suits.
all right, let's get to
All
it.
right, we gotta
quick
wrap
piece.
this up. I'm getting a dirty look from my wife. Like
Okay,
right
well,
now.
your wife's gonna have to keep giving you dirty looks.
Uh-oh.
Predator sequel was announced. Pacific Rim sequel was announced today.
Shane
And then
Black's behind the Predator sequel, so that's gonna be good.
yeah, that should be good. And those were the only couple things. I mean, and then Trek 3, they say Star Trek 3 is finally going to be in space. It only took them to the third movie to where they actually went in space.
I don't know about Robert Orshi. We'll have to see about that.
And shit.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, so I'm excited for Pacific Rim. I like Pacific Rim. And then Predator, if Shane Black does it right, I am excited.
Yeah, I think I've liked every Shane Black movie. So I mean, can he do something wrong at this point? Maybe. Maybe Predator's the one. Guess we'll wait and see. All right, is it time to get out of here?
Well,
Got anything else?
closing. Do we get a goodbye?
If
to
you
kind
can
of say
make it,
goodbye?
you can. Oh, well, you're gonna be on next week, right?
I may or may not. It depends.
Oh my goodness
Yes.
gracious.
I said so.
I'm
Okay.
gonna try. I'm going on vacation. I'm coming back, going to start the new podcast. So next week will be the first episode. We're recording on Wednesday. We're having an MX reunion from Almost Human. I did get word from Anthony today that it's become a maybe for him to attend because he's not sure where the Wi-Fi is. So everybody keep your fingers crossed wherever he's going to be has good Wi-Fi to where he can join us. But we're really excited to start that show. And really the show is going to be this fun where we can really just spread out and talk about all kinds of stuff. Natalie and I have been bouncing ideas off of each other. We're going to be talking Who. We're going to be talking Longmire. We're going to be talking Hell on Wheels. We're going to be talking Continuum. We're going to be talking all kinds of stuff. We're going to be talking anything. I mean, there's going to be subjects where one of the things we were spitballing, it's going to be like every other week, like a Netflix movie. We'll maybe get suggestions. What's on Netflix that might be crazy that we could just all watch that's going to be
I've
on the
watched
podcast
every
review.
crazy movie on Netflix. You know
But
that?
see, that's one of the ideas that we're talking about doing. So
See,
we're,
I
we're
like
really
that. It should be tell us the shittiest movie you found on Netflix, and we'll
Exactly.
watch it.
and then
I like
we'll
that.
discuss it. So those are some of the things we're banging around. We're gonna review Orange Is the New Black for the season, Game of Thrones, all kinds of good stuff. It's coming up. So it's gonna be fun. Production-wise, it is ready. We've got our opening. We're and then Casey, you're getting one. You're working on one. A new comics one that's going to be snazzy. But I'm excited. I'm excited to start talking about it. I'm going to miss everybody here. I know you're just going to be next door, basically, and we're not leaving. But
You're saying goodbye. I wasn't prepared for this chat, so I really hope you're not saying goodbye right now.
I don't know if I'm saying goodbye. But
so long. Farewell.
It hasn't been that long. It hasn't been that long, but it has seemed like forever. I don't know if that's good or that's bad. But I hope I at least make a cameo next week. But I don't want – you guys are having an amazing guest next week, and I didn't want it to be about that show being my last show. So if I'm able to come on as a guest next week, maybe I'll do that.
You're always welcome. You just say the word, my friend. You are on. You're in. You're in.
All right.
Any show you want.
All right. So, yeah, I'm excited to start that. I don't think I have anything else here on my list. We've got our cosplay, the Courageous Kids thing coming up on the 19th. We're going to be at Comic-Con for a couple of days. You know what, Casey? We have to spend a minute. I'm sorry, I know it's running long. Our new website, man.
Oh, it looks fantastic.
I mean, it's been bounced around in ideas and how we can bring you guys more content in a better way, because since we've really started to take off, we're just getting bombarded daily with content and previews and comics and and just all kinds of great stuff that we want to be able to bring to you guys. So the website geekswithwives.com, it's faster, it's better, it's more beautiful, and there's more content than ever on there. I think we're up to a few dozen contributors now from all over the world. We're really starting to take off. Our hit count. I mean, it's just I can't say enough about how excited I am about this group and what's happening and where we're going and everything. So we're going to be at Comic-Con. We're going to be at cons near you, for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, it looks great, and it allows us to just post stuff every day, which is nice. So.
And we may have an exclusive. I cannot even hint. I can't even hint at where it might be, but we have, through our relationships, an amazing exclusive that if it happens between now, I'll come back and talk on the podcast about that or whatever, but I'll talk about it definitely on mine if it happens between now and then. But watch our Twitter, watch our website. As soon as it comes out, we'll have some exclusives about it.
All right, Piper, besides being a weekly co-host on Geeks with Wives and Capes, where can we find you?
Twitter.
What's your Twitter name?
Okay.
Is your Twitter name Twitter? Or we just type in Twitter and hey.
My Twitter is it's probably easier to just look up Piper Steed. Otherwise, it's at FizzGiggity, but it's spelled with like Y's.
Yeah, it's weird. We'll put it in the show notes the first time.
Put a little thingy up here. It's so much easier. Otherwise, I have a D20 Girl fan page that I've abandoned that I should probably go and unabandon. And it's D20 Girl Piper. Facebook, all that good stuff / D20 Girl Piper.
All right. Looks like
all
Casey is ready to get the hell
I'm being yelled at. Okay, so like I said, you guys can see Piper. She'll be a regular host on here next week, so check her out on Twitter. Hopefully we'll get her more active on the site, and she'll be writing some stuff for us too. You guys should always be going to geekswithwives.com for the latest and greatest in everything geekdom, including video games.
One last quick thing. Sorry. I did it on purpose. Actually, no, this one's important. It's going to be in the show notes. It'll be on this link. Natalie, I wanted to ask her about it while she was here. She has a friend and because we're dealing with kids with pancreatic cancer, it was something I wanted to help if we could. Lily Bell, they started a thing to raise money. A small child, she looks like maybe she's 5 or 6, was diagnosed with leukemia, and they're having to spend some time in the hospital. So if anybody wants to check it out, donate some money, whatever they can do, we will put a link to it in the show notes.
Thank you, Chad. All right, geekswithwives.com. at GWW Capes Crew.
Wait,
Make sure you guys go
wait.
donate some money to help out pancreatic cancer, and we will catch you on the geek side.